It's Sunday, the 4th of May at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of chilly this morning, damp, cold, but I've got to get this job done here. This came in yesterday from Nick. He brought it all the way from Ontario. It's a 1997 90 from the military base up in Suffield, Alberta. Now, it was being converted to a 300 TDI engine onto the LT77 gearbox. Not one of my favourites, as you probably have worked out already, because they're a bit tricky to do starters and bits and pieces like that. But he's got a problem with the drive. He said he was driving it along, he did about 3 miles and it damn thing seized up. Unusual. Engine goes, and things like that, but he said it was locked up. So we're going to find out what's wrong with it and see if we can fix it. Now, we don't know why it locked up. It goes through the gears and things like that. I don't think it's a gearbox or transmission problem. I've got a sneaking feeling it could be a CV unit. Now, how do we test that? And why do I think it's that? Well, it's very rare for a Land Rover actually to lock up. And this has got a different axle on. This has got a Discovery axles on it. You can tell instantly because the flanges, let's go back and look at this again, the flanges are very small here, so it's been changed. Now usually the disco axles weren't too bad, but for a vehicle just to sort of jam up, it just doesn't really happen. It'll clonk and bang and do bits and pieces, but it won't just seize up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up in normal range, like high range, no transfer, no diff lock, and see if it works. Because if it doesn't drive, that will point to a CV being busted. Let's see. I just started it and I tried it, and it's making an awful racket. So it is driving in high range without the diff lock on. That's a good sign, because it wasn't driving. It would just spin the axle at the front and that would be the CV gun, so I don't think it's that. I've got a sneaking feeling there's something amiss in the transmission, but I don't think it's the clutch. Now, I'm going to try and get this camera a bit closer and open the door so you can hear, but it's making an awful screeching noise. Let's have a look. So here we go. We'll put it into first, and listen. That's unusual. Doesn't do it in reverse. Does it in forward gears? Does it in any other gear? Let's try third. Odd. Now, let's listen if it clunks. Oh, put the gear first. See, there's no clunk in it. You know, like usually if the transfer gear's gone. You know, I wonder if there's any oil in the gearbox. So, I think we've got to get it in the shop, get it on the lift, but I don't know what that is. I've never heard that before. This truck's got an LT77 in it, and fortunately I've quite a few LT77s that are in pretty good condition, so we might have to change the gearbox. But that noise is really sort of mystifying. You see, it sounds like a clutch or something's gone in the bearing, but everything seems to be okay. It's just when you put it into forward gears, it makes that screeching. So, do I pull the transmission out of it? Probably. I don't know what else there is to do it, because like I say, if I put it on the, what I'll do is I'll put it on the lift. We'll take the drive shafts off, the prop shafts, and spin the axles and the wheels and see if they go around and without any clunky noises. And then I think it's tranny out. It's not a nice job, especially being an LT77, because we've got to take the floor out to get to the bolts that go around the bell housing. Not looking forward to that. In fact, I think what I might just do is pull the floor out before I put it in the shop, because my lift goes quite close to the doors, and you know, you need the doors open to get the floor out. So let's pull the floor out. Hell with it. Just before I go and get my stuff out, I've just opened the door and had a look inside. This floor's been out before, so that gearbox has been out before. Fortunately, all the bolts and things will come out. Yeah, but some of them are missing, so I think that there might be an underlying problem with this. Let's get the floor out. So I got my old stethoscope out, and I've tried this gearbox backwards and forwards, and I'm sort of convinced it's the transfer cases screeching away. Why? Well, it doesn't do it in neutral. If you put it in neutral range, between high and low, makes no noise at all. So, could it be that? It does it in high range, it does it in low range, but I'm not sure if I can show you how to do it, but let's open the door and have a look. I'll show you what I did. I don't think we can see very well, but there we go. I've got the floor out, and using the stethoscope I went round all the gearbox. It seems okay, but when I put it on the transfer box, especially on the output shaft down at the bottom, it screeches. So that's not a bad job to do. I don't really like doing gearboxes, but transfer boxes are not too bad. But it's easy now I've got all the floor out. Oh, it's shaved, isn't it? Anyway, let's get it in the shop and see what it's like. Now, one little tip. Before your missus throws all like your bags out, you know, like your used bags, wash them out and you put all your nuts and bolts in. And all the floor bolts are all in one bag, and then you can lose them all together at the same time instead of losing odd ones. Top tip. Right, let's get it in the shop. So I've got the truck lifted up in the air, got a few lights on down here. You can see there's quite a bit of oil leaking out of it, and it was leaking out quite badly. And I've got another light under here, and when I'm looking underneath it looks like it's somewhere from round about the oil filter, or our old favourite, the vacuum pump up there. Anyway, that's not our concern at the moment. Major concern is, what's the oil like in here? So we're going to take this plug out. We'll do this real time so you can see, and then once the oil's drained out, we'll pull the cover off. I should have got a ratchet, shouldn't I? I'll pull the cover off and have a look, because I'm sure it's coming from the back of here. Might not be too bad. Right, so here we go. Ooh. Oh. Doesn't seem to be much oil in it. That's it. Oh dear. Yeah, putting your oil in is a really, really good idea. Always run better. And it's not because the vent's blocked, it's just got no oil in it. So there you go, Nick. That's the problem. So I'm going to pull this transfer case off. Obviously the bearings are knackered in it. I only hope that the gearbox itself is okay. Now to get this off, prop shafts off, front and rear, that's easy. Section out the exhaust, you've got to take that off just to make life easier. What else? Well, a few other bits and pieces really, a few nuts and bolts. Not too bad. Tricky bit's the linkage at the top, because I've already got it lifted up, and of course if you've noticed I've got it on 4 stands because I don't trust these hydraulic jacks whatsoever. but I'm going to put my lift underneath and then we'll just take this back and lift it out. Just to say that this, you can look at this, this is a very old style transfer case, because you see it's got studs on the back of here where it just used to have bolts on before. So that's something to observe. So let's see what this is like once we get this out. If there's anything interesting, I'll let you know, but really it's just taking the gearbox out, and somebody's done that before. But obviously, I think that could be the answer. Alright, so I might just upload this now so Nick can see it, and he can get a jump on getting me a gearbox, a transfer case, because this is a 1.6 transfer military. It's a bit low ratio, and because it's got a 300 TDI in it, then it could pull something a bit better. So let's see what we can do. I'm just about to take this transfer case off, and I just thought I'd show you this bracket, this support that I made to get the transfer boxes off, and then you can put it onto your transmission lift there, bolt it on, and then it's really easy because that's a nice balance point. But that's the way it should be made. Alright, it's only bolted on through the 4 bolts in the middle, a little angle, so this is level, and that's it. It's really straightforward to make, and you can use this cover or a gasket as a template to make those bolts. The only downside is that on this side it's preciously close to the bung on the earlier transfer cases and LT77s, so just shave a bit off that bit, but otherwise it doesn't really matter. So again, props are off, speedo cables off, handbrake cables off. Fortunately that was all greased up, so that was nice. Mounting bolts are loose. Where else is off? The linkages are off. So all I've got to do now, you can see the exhaust's off and out the way. So all I've got to do now is put the stand under and start to take the bolts off. And then we can get that out, and then we can decide what we're going to do. It's just a shame I haven't got a transfer case there, because I could have banged one on straight away. Oh hum, never mind. So let's get on with that. So just a little bit of an update on this 90. I've just about got ready to take the transfer case off. It's really easy, and it's a bit cramped under there to take pictures and things. But basically, prop shafts off, speedo cable off, high-low linkage is off, diff lock linkage is off, grounds, if there is any, take those off, and that's it. You've got to support the gearbox. Now, as I said to you before, I took the cover off the bottom of the gearbox. Look at that. Look at the metal. So we were right, it was the output bearing. It's shot. It's been no oil in it and it's all dry. So the gears don't look too bad. I think we've just caught those in time. Is it worth rebuilding? Who wants a 1.6 transfer case? Nobody really. So that's what was wrong with it. We'll see you in the next video.